Greetings. Welcome back. Well, we're going to be talking about the exciting, fun Winamp license. It definitely kicks the butt of the llama. Anyway, hold on. Let me find the screen for everybody. There you go. So, of course, this has been making the rounds. Let me also unmute everybody so you can all hear. There you go. I'll do that before I don't forget, right? So, yeah, Winamp has a nice new license. Hey, the great news! The Winamp source code's available. But they're like, don't ever publish it. Maybe this is a 4D chess move. They want it published everywhere around the internet. So that's what they're saying.
Yeah, I really don't know what to think about it.
Yeah, so very fascinating. But how's everybody doing?
I'm doing fine.
Groovy.
We battening down the hatches for... the kitty thing today, right? I log in because I'll check the weather frequently. It's a little bit more important to check the weather in the van and things like that. So check the weather. It's like every single time I go to the Weather Channel, they have some deeply sensational, life-threatening hurricane. I don't even pay attention anymore, and I think it's all fake because they're just going with the sensationalism every single time. It's like, be a little bit more honest with it. And I might actually pay attention when you say there's like the entirety of the news media right now is just crying wolf over every single issue. It's really annoying. So,
yeah.
Did I spell win? I did win app in the. Yes, I did, didn't I? Sorry about that. Okay, well, let me fix that. All right.
Sorry, Jim.
Did I get it right everywhere else? Can anybody check everywhere else I put Winamp? Make sure I did Winamp and not Winapp.
I didn't even pay attention when I grabbed that picture today. I just took it and flew with it.
Winamps.
Want some wind? Use some amp. Use this app.
Oh boy. Yep. There you go. Let's see if it's hot swaps the title or if I'm gonna need to reset the title.
Jim says he kind of likes Winamp better.
There you go. I don't know if I got it right everywhere else. Let me check the thumbnail title real quick here.
Simon says,
okay, that says Winamp. Okay, that's good. All right, I think we're good everywhere else. I don't know about the video title either. How's the video title? Video title correct?
Yeah, the video title on Odyssey and Rumble says.
Oh, it is Winamp everywhere. Oh no,
yeah.
I can't change that easily. Oh God.
Yeah, and the D-Live title says that DuckDuckGo now blocks Microsoft.
Yeah.
And you're a writer?
Well, the thing is that I try and proofread some things, but it's just like, there's times it's just like, oh, God. So, yeah, okay, well, we'll try and fix it. I don't think I can hot swap that live, but I'll try and get that fixed everywhere I can. And I'll have to remember to check BitChute later and see what BitChute does. I'll get that fixed eventually. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there you go. I'm a writer. No, actually, I've been spending every bit of my mental writing capacity working on the book on the one hand and the short story on the other. The good news is the short story is done. We are ready to record the audio book. I am getting a frog in my throat, and that could mean losing my voice for weeks on end. So hopefully I don't, and I'm hoping it's just the excessive amount of moisture in the air because of all the nonsense. So if I am going to lose my voice, I'm going to have to, like, first thing tomorrow morning or late at night tonight after we do the news, I'm just going to have to record it all. Because I can still talk right now. I just got to, like, stop every few minutes to cough or something. I don't know. But yeah, we're talking about Winamp today, not Winamp. I'll fix the titles later. This is why I need a production team to check things, but oh well, didn't happen. So let's see. I did spell it Winamp everywhere else. Winamp, yeah, look at that. The description's right.
I'll try to keep an eye on that.
Yeah. We'll blame Ivan for that, right?
Sorry.
All right. Anyway, where's my web browser view? There it is. Okay.
The app that turns on tornadoes.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. All right, let me check in on the comments, then we'll dive into the topic. We got Ivan on. Greetings. Techno-minded. I'm watching Max Philosophy. Might keep the stream up on my notification. Florida is going underwater right now. Yeah, if you're in Florida, man, stay safe down there. Florida needs a miracle right now. It's looking as bad. They're taking 20 feet ocean waves. Yikes. Yeah, I mean, it's good. Looking like the apocalypse for Florida. Yeah, there you go. Weather Channel's already confirming Category 4 keeps apparently intensifying. Yep. And I have friends in Pensacola. It looks like it's hitting right in that area, right? Or is it going to be Viva Fry batting down the hatches in Miami, I think, right? say, Viva, we need your legal analysis. Let's see.
Speaking of categories, I have mentioned this before, but on occasion I am helping the Category 5 TV YouTube channel. They have been working broadcasting since in the mid-2000s somewhere. And when some years ago there was a big hurricane on the U.S. East Coast, that was the first one to be to get to reach the Category 5 level, and he was a little annoyed that people might no longer find them when they are searching for Category 5.
Yeah, it looks like Miami's pretty much in the clear.
Is Miami in the clear? How's Pensacola? Does it look like it was kind of coming up more into the Gulf along the west side?
It's
right?
coming up the west side of Florida. The very east coast looks kind of not so problematic.
I'll have to reach out to my friend there in Pensacola.
Which side of Pensacola, Florida? Which side of Florida is Pensacola on?
It's in the Panhandle, on the west side. Yeah. I imagine if Miami's in the clear, Pensacola's screwed. But that hit more like Alabama and Mississippi as well.
Is it near Tampa?
No, it's in the Panhandle, way up top. Cumber fans late. Chicken schnitzel. All of a sudden, I want a Wiener schnitzel. All right.
Near Panama City.
I don't know where Panama City is off the top.
Tallahassee.
I don't know how you can't find it. Pensacola is like the biggest thing in the Panhandle.
Yeah. JK has just said he's in Pensacola. Sorry, dude.
How is Pensacola right now, JK? Blink twice if you're okay. All right.
Yeah.
Throw a life preserver on.
Windy just ain't showing it to me, or I'm just blind.
Yeah. Over on Odyssey, we got 21 on Zatubis. We're on Odyssey. We got Jim's on. Greetings. Yeah, I spelled Winamp in the live stream title. Sorry, guys. Yep, Winamp might be better. All right. Hey, if I do Winamp, I won't get sued by Winamp, right? All right, and we'll check over on Rumble. Only 6 watching over there, and there's no chattiness going on. I'll tell you what, is something else crazy and political going on tonight? Because our viewer counts were really low tonight.
I don't know of anything.
Yeah, I know everyone might still be reeling from the interview yesterday. Pondering how much holistic means, I guess. Anyway, Ben, StormOS. I downloaded StormOS today. I can't get it to boot on anything, so I want to check that. And I'm running a Ryzen 5 1600, if that helps. I can get you more information later. All right, let's go ahead and get on into our topic here. Who remembers Winamp? Catch the bombers.
I remember those days.
Yeah, we all had Winamp. In fact, I have. If I boot up my my other computer right here, I have this laptop sitting right next to me that has my Windows 98 VM on it, and I believe I have Winamp on that thing. I'm going to boot this thing up and see if I have the original Winamp running. And this is not some new thing. This is like the original Winamp from the my data backups. So I'm going to boot that on. So, of course, we did talk briefly about this a few months ago when Winamp's like, hey, we're going to release the source code, whatever else. Well, they finally did release the source code, and they gave it this license that's supposedly copy left, but it's not actually copy left.
And it's not even open source.
Not even open source. It's like you can see the code, but you're not allowed to do anything. However, there's a little bit of an inconsistency because they want people to read and abide by their policy. Okay. But then they put it on GitHub, which requires people to be able to fork the code. So they did not read the policy of the place they were putting the code where they want people to read and follow their policy. So we got policyception going on right now with Winamp.
Yeah. But the good news is that the restriction on no forking was removed from the license either earlier today or yesterday.
Yeah, like, oh, we can't do that, huh? Now, I think this might just be some Streisand effect attempt. They're trying to get Winamp everywhere all at once by saying, you can't do this, Internet. Watch us. I mean, I don't know anything about programming, and I downloaded a copy of the code, okay? It might just push me right on into that learn to code movement, right?
Yeah. So the fun part is when you are on the main GitHub site, on the right-hand side in the about, there is a list of how many forks, and if you click that, the topmost fork was created when the restriction on forking was still in effect. And he was creating and naming his fork.
Oh, that's 1.4K. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you click on that, you get a list. And on the top, the name of his fork of Winamp was created.
Yeah, I can't see that because I don't have a GitHub account, nor will I create a Microsoft
You don't need to. You don't need to.
I did. I just clicked it and it wants me to log in.
No.
Oh, not that one?
That's the wrong one. Under the About section.
Oh, I'm not going to try and navigate where it's at. So
yeah. So the name of the GitHub user is called Real Encoded is the username, and his fork was named Winamp. How about I fork anyway? That's the name of his fork.
There you go. Yeah, there's my Windows 98 computer there, and if I go into that start menu, I should have Winamp installed on this. I'm pretty sure I do. Let's see. I'm not sure if I do. I thought I did.
Just try punching in AMP.
What's that?
Just try AMP. It might pop up.
Does Windows 98 have a search in the menu?
Oh, good question. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I'm thinking about it. I don't think they do. Oh, cookie.
It's trying to start Internet Explorer. I thought I installed Winamp on this, but I'm not seeing it.
You probably have to scroll all the way down to W.
I might have installed it on the old Ubuntu.
Look in the programs folder.
Yeah, the programs folder. I have accessories. Yeah, I have your basic. I have like the interactive CD sampler, CD player, media player stuff. I do have Microsoft Office on here, so I did take the time to install Microsoft Office, but I don't think I installed Winamp. I thought I installed Winamp. Huh, that makes me sad. I'm gonna have to find Winamp in my backup archives and install Winamp soon on my Windows 98.
So I started my own Windows 98 VM, and I can confirm that the start menu did not have a search function.
I did not think it did. No.
Yeah, I think that came with maybe XP.
I'm pretty sure that's the case. Yeah. All right, let me shut this guy down so I don't waste my battery because, you know, it's stormy weather out there. I have not seen the mystical, magical glowing orb in the sky for a long time. My solar panels are like, I thought I was supposed to be collecting power here, man.
Order!
So, anyway, unfortunately, I'm plugged in. But Winamp releases the source code, but don't rush to rejoice. They're saying that they're releasing the source code so that everybody come in and contribute to the code. But nobody's allowed to fork it. Of course, that's changed because GitHub kind of requires it. But they're like, nobody's allowed to release it. Nobody's allowed to do anything with it. You can just contribute to it for free. So we can take all of your contributions that you're giving us for free. And by the way, in their code, that if you do that, no distribution of modified versions. You may not distribute modified version of software, whether in source or in binary. No forking. You may not create, maintain, or distribute. Official distribution, maintainers only. Also, there was one down here, assessment of rights by assignment of rights. By submitting contributions, you agree that all intellectual property rights, including copyright, in your contributions are assigned to Winamp. You hereby grant Winamp a perpetual, worldwide, non-exclusive, royalty-free license to use, copy, modify, and distribute your contributions as part of the software without any compensation to you. So if you actually were working on some neat new feature and you've developed that and deployed it across 4 or 5 open source projects, and then you're like, hey, Winamp could benefit, and you throw that in the Winamp could possibly come back to those source codes and be like, hey, you're using our copyrighted material. Even because you submitted it, and effectively by submitting, you're agreeing to give them the exclusive. It says non-exclusive, but at the same time, yeah, this is what a company would do. They'd fight you for it. So, of course, they did mention that the license does violate GitHub's TOS. Number 6, no distribution of modified versions. You may not distribute modified versions of software. That's what is in theirs. But the GitHub terms, by saying your repositories to be viewed publicly, you agree to allow others to view and fork your repositories. This means others may make their own copies of content from your repositories in repositories they control. And so, obviously, there's a thing. And then, of course, if you just look down through here, it's just fire in the comments, So you got these guys here watching the popcorn because this is actually quite glorious. And so it does raise this question about licensing. This is a case of a company that, Winamp, there's so many media players. Winamp would probably benefit by just going open source entirely. They would probably get huge. They don't want to do that, so they're like, well, we can't do this full proprietary because it's so old. So what they should have done is what some of the other licenses are doing now with the fair source licensing instead, which we'll get into that in a minute here. But just looking at all the comments, people are like going
in
crazy.
Today's world, I think Winamp is kind of like just obsolete. We have better stuff now. I don't think Winamp does streaming, which is what all the kids use now. They're not like you or I that buy physical records and media.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Now, I still would love a copy of Winamp functioning on Linux because that's what I do. Now, I find I use VLC for that purpose.
I use Strawberry Clementine. I will not use Rhythm Box because it's so intrusive on your library.
Yeah, I like Lollipop as well.
I use the Audacious. I think it's pronounced. When you change the default layout, it mimics the old Winamp user interface.
Mm-hmm.
And I have installed the LCAR's Star Trek look OS theme on that UI. So the old so for this player, the old Winamp skins still work, and they make it a priority to have them working.
Yeah. So anything else with the Winamp license? Just kind of short, but the point is be aware of your licensing stuff.
The thing that you're probably going to get to this is the fair source code thing that they were pushing.
Yeah, we'll get there. Before I get there, this is a challenge of the open source. If your release is just open source, it's FOSS news. 60% of open source maintainers are completely unpaid, and that's concerning, especially if we all seen that meme where every project in the world is using one little thing maintained for free by one guy in Nebraska. It's like, that one guy's like, has a heart attack or something. Gets run over by a bus, then the whole thing goes completely down, and then the whole world crashes down under it, and it's like, what happened?
I remember when the really big nasty bug in OpenSSL was discovered. Then it was revealed that the whole development team behind OpenSSL was one person. And then when it became public that it was only him, and then a few big companies started to donate some money to having it maybe a broader team.
Yeah, absolutely. So what they did find, though, is that as people started to donate to the open source projects, they tend to get better. The projects that are the best tend to be the ones that are the best funded. And it's just a good thing. If you have the opportunity and the capability, it's worth donating to some of these projects just to make sure that, they do realize that it's people are making use of it and that it is good. But because of this, there's this fight over the pure open source, which the problem with open source is it can be abused. And some, a lot of your big companies that we oftentimes criticize on this channel, your Apples and your Amazons and your Facebooks and things, what we can't criticize them on is that they do actually highly support a lot of these projects. If there's one that they're using a lot, they will send a lot of resources behind it, whether it's just scholarships or payments or contributing directly to the code itself, which takes a lot of pressure off of the guys. And I know some people are saying, well, do we really trust Facebook to be making modifications? If it's all open source stuff, of course. These guys are competent programmers. You're working at Facebook. You're a competent programmer, most likely. And if you're contributing code and it's open source and we can verify it's open source and people who are more privacy focused are making sure it's good, I'm not worried about that.
Linux, the kernel project is one example of this. One of the biggest code contributors to the kernel is Microsoft, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which could be equal parts terrifying and amazing, but so in response to this new form of fair source is kind of showing up. This was what was the company Louis Rossmann's doing work with these days? Because they kind of got in this similar controversy.
Futo.
Which one's that one?
Futo.
Yeah. And so they said, well, they called it open source, but it wasn't the same type of model. And people said, it's fine what you're doing, just don't call it open source because that means something. Well, Sentry came into the same circumstance, and so this is from August. So they created what they call fair source, and what they actually wrote in their blog post here is that they released this model which they said you can see the code, but we're not allowing a lot of modifications and changing without some very strict requirements, which is effectively the same thing that Futo was doing, right? But they have a provision that if the company goes belly up, the code just doesn't disappear. And that's one of the big problems we're dealing with especially with a lot of the IoT devices, that the company goes belly up, the IoT device just needs thrown in the trash can because the code disappears. Well, what the fair source code, if that ever happens and a company goes defunct, the source code immediately falls into the open source world because obviously the company doesn't need it anymore. And so now people can continue the development of the IoT as there's hobby or interest to do so. And so the fair source code effectively has these basic premises. It's publicly available to read, so you can read it. You can allow the use and modification redistribution with restrictions, and the restrictions are in line to protect the producer's business model. But if they call it delayed open source publication, which is if the company goes belly up, then the code will become open sourced at that point in time.
I see a problem with that.
Yeah, what do you got?
Okay, suppose the company goes belly up, but they go belly up under bankruptcy, and the bankruptcy judge orders them to liquidate it by selling it.
I think the license though would probably force that. I don't know. Anybody else have any comment on that? That is a very good point though,
because that's an asset to the company.
Correct.
Actually.
Yeah, and that order would be to sell off the assets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is a very good question that probably needs addressed. Salvo, you're the license guy around here. What do you think?
It depends on how the text of the belly up switch is written. Mm-hmm. If it is written correctly, then it would go into effect before the court have anything to say. And once the license is changed, there is no going back.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So it's possible to be saved from that, but that is a very good question to to bring up, because that was one of the big concerns about Radio Shack. They go bankrupt. They have this massive database of people, and that's a big question. Hey, I'll buy that database of people from you. But that's what they're doing. So this is actually almost, in fact, if I remember listening to Louis Rossman's discussion, this is almost exactly what his company was doing. So technically, they might be operating under fair license. Now, I don't follow exactly what he's doing over there, so if somebody has more specific information, that'd be cool. But it does sound like his code is very much like this. You have to buy the software to be able to read the code, so you know what's in it. You're not allowed to use it. You're allowed to modify it, but you can't redistribute modifications, if I remember his video explaining it. And I don't know if they have anything about the delayed open source or not, but it's
you should be able to at least use it.
Yeah, I think that's the same thing with like the Winamp situation. I've downloaded the source code. Nothing's gonna stop me from tinkering around with it, compiling it, making edits and alterations. I would only get in trouble if I had tried to redistribute that under their current license.
Yes.
But because it's like, would it technically violate their policy? Possibly. I don't know. But as long as you're not distributing it or otherwise drawing attention to yourself, yeah. Ooh, Laserfair has a copy. No, just copy link address. Has their statement on open source, which I think that if I remember correctly, I didn't read this statement. Post an article meant to be a parody to poke fun of the open source and OSI, the open source definition. Many in the community react to this article. Terms fundamentally, our goal is to build great products that don't abuse people. So if they're saying that it was meant to be parody and poke fun, is that true? I don't follow Futo. I don't follow a lot of Louis Rossman. So is this
I watch
them
a lot of
backtracking?
his
Is this them
Being F
backtracking?
Today shows, but I don't see too many of his Futo shows.
Yeah, and that's what I'm asking here is, did they publish this, which was like, we're doing this, but then a bunch of people call them out, so they backpedal and say, well, it was supposed to be parody.
Yeah, I was one of those who called them out on this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So seeing the original article, did it strike as supposed to be parody or not?
Oh, it doesn't. It was very official looking. I think a few of the big shots in one of the big organizations like anti-open source consortium, and a few of the very high ups commented on saying that this is not an open source license in any way, and so on. So there was no hint that this was a joke, if it ever was one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not buying. I'm not buying their argument that this was just a joke.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't followed all of the functions around it probably as close as I should have. I should get more into all the licensing stuff, but
But I've heard. But I remember. I vaguely remember Louis commented sometime after the initial. So when they switched to this. So when this Futo statement came out. Rossman said that he had been arguing internally that they should not call this open source because it was not correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they're calling their source available is what they're calling.
Which is another way of saying it's proprietary.
But it sounds like they're trying to backtrack and save face with this article, saying that their original thing was supposed to be parody. No, I've written parody before. At least my parody book says on the title, "Hey, it's parody, yo." So anyway, that's most of what I got. Did I cover all my show notes? I think I did. Yeah, I guess is the source is the what is this? Fair source, is that the future or not, is the question, I guess. Is that the future? And
I think there is a few upcoming projects that might use...
Who regulates all these licenses, like open source and GPL and stuff like this?
So the GPL licenses are maintained by the Free Software Foundation. because the license, if you read several of these licenses, it actually says that you are allowed to copy the license, but you are not allowed to change it. And if you do, you need to rename the license. You can't change the GPL version 3 and remove something or add something restrictive and call it a GPL license. They will fight you in court to stop you from doing that.
Okay, so I'm assuming this fair source stuff that they've generated is not associated with that. And if somebody broke this license, it's a simply go to court over it thing.
So the new licenses, like the shared source, the one who creates the license actually dictates how the license can be used.
Well, that makes sense.
Yep.
And the open source initiative actually defines what the term open source means. And they have a list of 10 rules that you need to follow in order to call anything open source. And if you fail even one of those rules, it is not open source. They say that point blank.
Mm-hmm.
And the Free Software Foundation does the same with the term free software. And copyleft, because the license text, the Winamp collaborative license says that under the preamble that it is a copyleft license. And then the license have a lot of restrictions and just removes every kind of permission that a copyleft would give you. No, it's not a copyleft license, and it's sure and it's not. This license that the Winamp project has decided to use means that it is a proprietary software.
Yeah, it's an intern's probably getting fired over this one because
I'm just trying to make best use of our license man here.
Yeah. All right. That's any other commentary on that before we go to the comments?
I think I asked all the questions that I have.
Okay. Trying to see if I can spot.
Winamp is a Windows-only application, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I have the executable files. I have a sneaky suspicion it's probably very easy to run under Wine. It's not exactly modern technology.
Yeah, I have much more complicated software that actually runs on Wine pretty well.
Yeah.
Actually, I use Play on Linux for that stuff.
Yeah.
So my first experience with Winamp was in 1999, I think, or 98. Because I started using IRC in September of 98. So, but I think it was in late 98, early 99, when someone gave me a link to a script that was called Christian Command at the time, and embedded in the installer was Winamp. And that was my first experience with Winamp. And I remember liking the interface so much that still to this day I'm using a player that has the Winamp lookalike user interface.
Yeah, you got all your Napster stuff and LimeWire stuff and run it through Winamp to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Well, any Fantas says he plays MP3s with classic Winamp every single day on one of his setups. Very cool, any Fantas. That's awesome. Commodore fan gets a day off of work tomorrow due to the hurricane. Good job. Stay safe though. I hope it's decent weather for your day off. I mean,
Yeah.
I have a day off, but the trees are flying through the air. I can't go out and enjoy it.
Yeah, maybe he should go to the beach and kite a little.
Yep.
I'm gonna go sailing.
Yeah.
Not in 20-foot waves.
Oh, that's just a challenge.
Yeah. Technominded is in Ohio right now. Careful out there, man. Ohio's getting weird.
Yeah, it looks like the southern end of Ohio is getting some rain as well.
Well, State College is getting some rain. Let's see. I'm definitely back to where I was. Let's see. Let's see. Trump spoke in New York City from Trump Tower a bit earlier. Okay. Did he say anything
wow.
exciting? Oh, I think that's a reference
That's
to
security.
I think that's a reference to what is something else going on today. I'm weird. What's the date on the ISO? I just downloaded it last night. So the link you emailed me, Ben, didn't work at 404, but it sent me to your homepage there. I went and downloaded the latest, the XFCE. But yeah, I just I think it was the one you pushed yesterday. Go ahead, Selby.
Yeah, so earlier today, when I first saw the link about Winamp, I searched and I found the GitHub repository. And when I checked it earlier today, it had 140 something closed tickets, and it had 19 open tickets. And as of this minute, there is 743 open tickets on the Winamp project.
Oh boy.
Well,
oh yeah, 730. Let's have a look at that. Well, the first one's Russian, I think. At least it's Russian script. Everything will be fine. Winamp gave me Ligma. Funny pet photos, port to Winamp, cute cat picture. It looks like people are just completely trolling the thing at this point.
Yeah.
A mess. I declare this forum is in a coma. See you later in another repo or another day. One of the best issues here, but your opinion about the license and violation.
Will Winamp be rewritten in Holy See?
Issue creation rate has dramatically fallen.
Back then, that's what it'd be made out of, is C.
Yeah.
In assembler.
Potentially illegally distributing Intel and Microsoft property. Can we English and Russians agree to a peace treaty?
Yeah, that's appropriate for this repo.
Oh Lord, I don't think I got that one. I gotta read that one. Have Englishmen overtaken the Russians here? Now there's a Matrix channel for Winamp. Winamp, The Awakening.
Oh boy.
Winamp caused COVID. It made me ginger. How to fix. I've been molested by Winamp. Oh God. Winamp is like Llama Group OnlyFans League.
And if you go to the next page, one of the tickets is Port Winamp to Office 2007.
Yeah, I see that. Port Winamp to real life. I got AIDS to the Winamp. There we go. Make Winamp a Linux kernel module written in JavaScript.
Yeah, and there's two tickets. One is asking for porting it to Lightbulb, and another porting it to LimeWire, which has been dead for 20 years.
Winamp, whoever you are, please keep this repo up. Port Winamp to Chernobyl nuclear power plant reactor 4 controller room. Okay. Port it to Sega Dreamcast. Up there's the LimeWire and the light bulb. Oh God, there's 15 more since I've been looking at them. We're up to 744. Winamp no longer contains my bank details.
Well, one thing Winamp has got going for, and probably one of the reasons they released it the way they did, is they no longer have to buy a MP3 codec for it.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah,
or a license to one.
A license to what?
MP3 codec.
You don't need that anymore because the patents.
That's why they released it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a Russian responded to that. What does that say? Can anybody translate that one? So can we, English and Russians, agree to a peace treaty? The English guy says please, and the Russian said something. I don't know what.
It's just a matter of copying the text into Google Translate.
Yeah, let me see if I can do that here. All right. I'm going to do it. Google Translate. I hope it's nothing foul. Oh dear. I'm having too much fun with this one today. Here you go. Detect language. Net sassy. It says net sassy.
Yeah, no sassy is the so I have no idea what that means. So it is a troll answer.
Yeah. Okay. It said Serbian was detected.
Yeah, it's saying the same for me. So it's not. It says the same no matter which language you use. So.
Well, it means no voice in Sicilian. Is Russian in this list? Yeah, I have no idea. Okay. Well, that was fun.
You should check out the ticket 1085. How did you find this place? It's on the front, at least on
1085. How did you find this place? Here's my story. 6 pounds of that stuff. Friends spotted heightened activity here. I've joined into the chaos, and only after that I found out what that typo is about, or what that repo is about. Sounds of Winamp guided me here. Zonekin. Heard about the license and then joined in, causing chaos yesterday. Oh dear, yeah. Winamp is
the only reason I clicked on it was that I was curious to see if that actually was a serious thread, and no, it's not.
No. Okay, I'm curious. What's the cute cat picture? Aw, it's a cute cat picture. Look at that.
Yeah.
Man, if only I had a GitHub account, I'd post my own pictures here. Oh, they're so cute. Oh, catception. Oh, Chinese food. Let's see. Oh, you're so cute. All right. That was fun. All right. Well, we got completely sidetracked.
Yeah.
Let's see. Grayson Petty, thanks for doing a live stream over on Odyssey, man. See 1,000 people forking Winamp to violate the license. Let's whack-a-mole begin. Yeah. All right. I know. Whack-a-llama anyway. Well, thank you, Grayson, for dropping by. Tomorrow, Grayson, 8 o'clock tomorrow, we have our weekly news roundup. We'll also be on Odyssey. So this guy says that is, he thinks it's Ukrainian for have no clue. All right. So anyway, let's see. Tested BIOS in EFI mode. Maybe I'll try that because I was, yeah, that might be, I was doing the initial test in virtual machine. I ran like I only got 1 out of 3 distros I downloaded yesterday working, and that was Ubuntu, and that only partially worked. They all have problems.
So I ran it. So I checked, so I selected Ukrainian language for the, and the English translation is there is no Saxon.
Okay.
Whatever that means. Yeah. So it's a Ukrainian response. Not funny. Didn't laugh.
See, more shady policies going on. This is why I got trust issues with specific software. Yeah. Zalus guy, false Windows 95 had a search file function. Yeah, we know there is a find function for searching, but what we're talking about is there's no search for an application that's installed through the menu. So you can't search the menu for something. That's what we were referencing, yes. Yeah, I can try an EFI mode because I don't know, because I tested it in virtual machine and I also tested it in GNOME boxes. I did not do a full test on real hardware, though. Stick to the official builds. I've had too many issues in the past. The community builds, either breaking update or being dropped. Use a QMMP with the Winamp skin. Yeah. Let's see. Just seeing if there's any other fun comments in here to read. Looking at the YouTube comments now, we got still 20, only 24 watching. Maybe everyone's transfixed to the hurricane, or half the world is leaving. We usually have 5,000 people from Florida watching.
There was 34 people watching about 10 minutes ago.
Encyclopedia. Yeah, we caught the typo as I went live. I can't change it when we're scrolling live. I'll fix those this evening. So, but thank you for that. We will get her fixed as soon as we can.
Yeah. The spelling on the thumbnail is correct. I just checked a little bit ago.
Yeah, I did check that. So yeah. That's right. All right, I'll go ahead and we'll go ahead and get that fixed. Oh, we have more kitties over here on the Odyssey comments. How many are watching on Odyssey? We have 20 more. We have more people watching on Odyssey than on YouTube right now.
Yeah, that's and I posted a kitty pic image from the GitHub thread on the general discussion channel, which I found humorous.
Yeah. Let's see. What's going on? Actual details, software releases, hardware. Let's see. Spies when companies and developers abuse open source, add restrictions so that you cannot release modified code. Yep. Which I don't think they're allowed to do that, are they? Or are they? I don't know. I need to understand my GPL
the developer can choose whatever license he wants.
Okay, so if I were to fork something, I can create it. That's right. Yeah.
No, if you fork something, you are bound by the license.
Oh, okay.
But the creator of the software, in this case, they bought the rights to the Winamp source code. They can put any license they want. So they're not doing anything wrong per se. It's just
no. What I was asked about is a general. If I just fork a GPL license, am I bound to put by the GPL license on anything I do with that? Okay.
Yeah.
Everything's all just forked up out there.
It is. It is indeed.
Yes.
Let's check over on Rumble. 12 watching on Rumble. Winamp. Yeah, Winamp. Yeah. It's Winamp. We'll get that fixed.
Somebody used that to start the tornado down by Florida.
I tried to watch over on YouTube, but the ads kept failing to load. Yeah, well, you can watch it on Rumble.
Let's select hurricane mode.
There you go. I wonder, is Tesla turning on that extra feature to have more battery capacity again? Remember, like, Tesla's cars have more capacity than Tesla allows you to use.
Oh,
you can pay them more money for more capacity, but during an emergency, they'll jump your capacity, allowing you to drive further away.
This is good. You might want to include it in your news tomorrow. I just posted it today. Tesla full self-driving requires human intervention every 13 miles.
Oh, that's good news.
Yeah, well, they get into it and they say how badly they have to correct it.
Yeah, I'll look at it. We have so much news in that section, though. So.
Yeah, the news kind of blew up.
Yeah, we have. I'm going to be sifting through articles all night, which is sad because I'd kind of like to get that audiobook recorded. If you are a supporter, though, the short story for this month is imminent. We have finished all of the edits. I just need to do the audiobook. And we will get, I think we'll probably get Code Red up on time as well, which is right around the corner. It's like next week. But I got all the edits back from the editor. I just need to integrate those. I need to, I think, patch up a few small spots and then extract the ebooks and record just a couple things for the remainder of the audiobook that's not done. So we will have the Code Red book up soon, very, very soon. And we will have the short story for supporters for the month of September, hopefully before August or October, right? But we'll get that, and then I will hopefully get the next one up. And I just got some amazing topics over here. I have enough topics on my board right now to cover all the short stories for this season. So crazy. Let's see. I think we've kind of hit everything, and we've gone so far off the rails. We might want to
Winamp. What do you expect?
It is Winamp. Yeah. Oh, there's a couple more.
Yeah, it's Windows too. So
Visual Studio 2019 community. Where to get it? And then we have more. More Russians are coming back. Bad Ukrainian translation urgent. Everything will be fine.
Yeah, check the bad Ukrainian translation. Maybe not on camera, but that's actually a valid bug report.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it's
Somebody sent a valid bug report?
yeah. It's
shocked.
someone made fun adding incorrect translation into the. So when you read it, it's hilarious. Someone had some fun and it made it through for some.
Oh boy. All right. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and jump off here for now. Tomorrow, weekly news roundup at 8 tomorrow evening. So stick around for that. That'll be a lot of fun. And of course, we have our we are premiering a video at 9 today on the Christian channel, and that is Zechariah, the first vision in Zechariah. Chapter, let me see, copyright address area, which is going to be chapter 1, verses 7 to 17, the horseman vision. So if you are interested in those things, you can go ahead and watch that. That'll go live on YouTube and Rumble at 9, and it'll roll over to Odyssey BitChute shortly after that. So, and let me see if I can get the Rumble version for the guys on Rumble that might want to watch it. There's
Rumble
address, and there we are. So if you guys are interested in that, you can go ahead and do that. Yeah, sorry, Odyssey. I just don't have an Odyssey link for that until it populates over there. So I sent the YouTube link. I know it's. If you stick, watch the Our Walk in Christ channel over there. It'll roll over there. Or if you want, I can post the here. Let me do this here. I'll post the Rumble link there as well. So if you're like a YouTubophobe, you can go watch that on Rumble when it rolls live at 9. So there you go. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We will see you tomorrow with the weekly news roundup.
Bye, everyone.